Baby Cham now because
I'm always your baby.
Okay, this is
I'm
my
always
Baby
your
Cham.
baby. Yes.
But I see it on the video. I see it on the album. Is Baby Cham back? Because
I think with the project Ghetto Story, they had used Cham because they wanted to go with just Cham. And they were having some issues with Baby Cham at the time.
Okay.
Because there was an alcohol company by the name of Baby Champagne, but we kind of won it. Kind of won everything in court back then.
Okay.
So Baby Cham is mine, no matter
all right,
what.
I didn't know if you dropped that because you know how people be like,
Yeah.
little something. I'm not that anymore. I'm not.
No, from day one I've always been
You
Cham.
gonna-
Cham
yeah.
for the rude boys and Baby Cham for the ladies.
For the ladies. Well,
yes.
there's definitely some Baby Cham for the ladies on this new album.
Yes.
You know, so
Yes.
congratulations. I want to say I was playing it for everybody up here too, and they were like, it sounds fire.
Thank you very much.
You
we
know-
put a lot of work in it.
And I can tell. And even from the lead single, you know, and you definitely are a hustler all this time.
Always been just working non-stop, always been touring. Hustling in my blood is personal to me because those are my brothers, you know what I mean? We've been on tour for the last 2 weeks and it's been fun just being on tour. Myself and Damian Marley have been on tour before.
Right.
But me, Damian Marley and
Steven,
Steve
ooh.
on the same tour, it's been nothing but a vibe, nothing but just fun. We're performing every night to like 10, 15,000 people. And surprisingly, they're singing the single already. Hustling in My Blood, they're singing it
That
word for
single
word
is no
already.
joke. It's hardcore.
Yes.
And the album is called Sherlock, or the project.
Yeah.
It's not an EP because it's longer than that, so it's really a full album.
Yes.
So Sherlock Crescent, that's the neighborhood
That's where I grew up.
where you grew up.
Yeah,
that
that's
raised
where
you.
it all started. From day one, that's been the community that molded me. And I think that this project I wanted to go back into like that archive and like find all those things that I haven't said before. You know what I mean? Because before you've been talking about stuff that probably you grew up with, stuff that you experienced, but you have certain pockets or certain vaults that you never went back into as a musician and as someone that's creative. And for this project, I think I needed to go back to the grassroots.
You know, it's been over 25 years, though, because I know it's 25 years since your first album came out, but you were
Yeah.
doing music before that.
Yeah.
What do you feel like you haven't talked about? Because that's
Whoa.
interesting to me to hear that.
There's so many things that I haven't talked about. Like, I think that I've spoken about just the struggles and growing up in Jamaica, the struggles. You could hear that throughout all my albums. But I haven't spoken about after you get what you need to get to take yourself out of the struggles, how do you maintain that?
Okay.
I think that's something for our audience to hear. You know what I mean? There's something to learn from that. I haven't pinpointed it yet, but I know that that's something that is really important to speak on. You know what I mean?
I like the song Maddest Life because it is true. Like, you feel like everything that you've wanted to do,
Yeah.
you've had a good life.
Yes.
I like that because it's
Yes.
kind of like if, you know, God forbid things all end today,
Yeah.
at least I feel like I know I've lived my dreams.
Yes, to me, Modest Life is one of my favorite songs because to me it's probably the realest song on the project. And to me, they say that sometimes you get up and you have people that say, I wish I had this growing up, or I wish I had that, or I wish things was like this, or things was like that. I never think that way
Right.
because it's like a domino effect. If you take away the struggle of Angela when she was growing up, then probably you don't even have your mom.
Right,
You
right.
don't even have your dad, your siblings, your family. You know what I mean? You don't have what you grow to love and embrace about your whole environment.
It's like if you went back in time and changed something,
Something else
it would
is
be
gonna
so
change.
different. You don't
Yeah,
know where you'd be right now.
You don't know where you would be. And I know that all that struggle growing up in Sherlock and Kingston is what made me stronger, you know what I mean? And made me kind of push every single day. I lost my father at like age 10. So I was the man of the house from age 10. So I had to be hustling and grinding from age 10. I would never change that. My school fee, in Jamaica, you have to pay school fee. My school fee was the last one to pay every year because I'm the wash belly. In Jamaica, the wash belly is the last one.
And if other kids know that too, that's a
They knew because the
Yeah.
Bursa is the person that comes around
the bursar.
and come to the classroom and let you know that you're needed at the financial office. So all the kids knew and they used to laugh. But at the end of the day, it's just part of what makes you. You know what I mean? It's like when you say when you hear we say hustling in my blood, go for it in the mud, through the fire and the flood. listen to my every word. Whoa, we the strongest of the strongest. So I'd never change nothing. And if I never live to see another day, I would never live this another way. 'Cause I'm living my life without fear. Party every day like a Happy New Year. Never
That's
change
what I'm
it.
talking about. And that's why it's lawless.
Fully lawless.
And that's your label.
Yes.
All right, so Lawless. So this album is also out on your label.
Yes.
And if you think about all the things that happened to you, even as a kid growing up to you to where you are today, and the help that you had from producers and people who believed in you, I'm sure for you at some point you were like, this is something I need to pay forward.
You have to pay it forward. You have to pay it forward. And that's what I believe in. You know what I mean? I've been around probably the greatest producer in dancehall history, which is Dave Kelly from day one. And the only reason why Dave is not on this project is because I was creating, I reached out, I showed Dave, because Dave is my brother. He's not just like a producer. You know what I mean? We live in the same community all my life since I started doing music. We have seen each other every day for the last 30 years. You know what I mean? But Dave was in the Bahamas working on something.
Okay.
I reached out to him probably January 3rd. And I'm like, yo,
That's my birthday.
You see?
There you go.
That's powers. That's powers. You know what I mean? January 3rd. And I said, yo, I have these ideas in my head that I need to get out for my new project. And he was like, okay, give me 2 months. And I'm like, 2 months? All right, cool. He was like, whatever come to your mind, if you're writing, send me a demo. You can just do any demo and I'll start making the beats to it. I started writing and start doing beats and just keep on going, and they were coming out fire, I wanted it. By the time Dave got to Miami, to the studio in March, the project was done.
It was done. You were
done. So he kind of combed through it, like fine teeth combed through it to make sure everything is all right. And
yeah, he was involved, but not as much as previously.
He was like, you know what, I listen everything, we just have to make sure it's mastered right and it's good to go.
I love that relationship because, first of all, it's rare to hear that somebody from the beginning of their career still is on good terms with the person that they came up with, because people will see that he didn't produce on this and think
that something is going on. Because the next week we're in the studio with Buju. We're in the studio with Buju Banton the next week.
We got to talk about that.
Fire. It's like we were working on Buju's album and we did a few collaborations with Buju, and Dave is the one that produced all those. So there's nothing there. It was that sometimes when your creative juice is flowing, you can't stop it for nothing. And it was just flowing and everything is coming right.
And a good producer will also be like, even if they put your ego to the side and be like, this actually sounds great.
No, that's what I've learned, that a good producer is also a good collaborator. And when you're a good collaborator, you know when to step back and when to step forward.
You're not a hater.
You're not a hater.
You mentioned Buju, and of course, I know you've said many a time how Till Shiloh was such a huge album for you, and that was actually huge for us over here too.
Big.
In the United States, But people were talking about you and Buju finally collaborating properly.
Yeah.
So why do you think that took such a long time to come about?
It's weird because Dave Kelly is the one that founded Buju from Penthouse Records and Madhouse Records. And then, I met Dave probably 1992, my bad. I was in probably 7th grade or 8th grade at the time. So he wouldn't record me. So it was like, he wouldn't record me when you finish with high school.
And you had the same voice too when you was a little kid.
Yes,
it
the
still
same
sounded
vocal.
Deep, grown man voice.
And we made a deal that if I came back to him, 95, at the time I was 15, 16, but I would be actually graduated from high school. With proof of graduation, he would give me a shot. But during that 3-year span, I would still go to the studio and I'll be in the studio watching Buju Banton, Terror Fabulous, Nadine Sutherland, Garnet Silk, you name it, Terror. Legends. So I'm there learning, like a fly on the wall or just a sponge in the corner, just learning and watching how they go about, just recording all the techniques. But for some reason, me and Buju never ever did nothing at all together. Never.
Yeah, that's wild. It's just
crazy. The first time I did a concert with a full band outside of Jamaica, it was probably 1997. I was 17 years old going on to 18, and it was Buju's band. That Buju is the first person that I watched, did a full rehearsal with his band. So I learned from that, okay, when it's my time, I learned from here how to conduct myself with the band, how to keep it business, how to keep it professional, all of that. But for some reason, we have never, ever done nothing together. So when I saw the text, probably sometime in Christmas, I saw a text come in and say, yo, Bojo, I need you on my next project. And you can't say no. I'm like, I
Where are you?
would never say no. You know what I mean? That a gag and mel. Like without Bojo. Bojo is one of my main influences. You know what I mean? I used to play a sound system as a kid growing up, like probably 12, 13, 14. I used to save our lunch money. We used to sell bottles in Jamaica. Like you can actually go to the after parties, like when parties are finished and
collect the bottles.
You collect the bottles. If you sell those bottles, you can get money. We used to do that.
People do that here all the time to this day.
Ah, see?
They come right in the
The
yard.
hustling
take
never stops. And we used to use that money and buy records. And all the records we used to buy at the time was a Buju Banton record. So without Buju Banton, I wouldn't have went to Dave Kelly.
That's amazing.
Because all the records I used to buy, there was one common denominator. Buju was the artist, the producer was Dave Kelly. So that's why I went to Dave Kelly and we did an audition and see, history put us where we are.
I can't even imagine what you must have been watching as a little kid. You know, and that is a time of your life that you could be very fearless, right? And wanting to do things that nowadays we kind of can be like, oh, I don't know if I should ask. I don't know if I should do this. But when you're like 15 years old, it's just go for it, you know.
At that age, you have no fear. It's either you tell me no, it's no. I've went to Junior Reid's studio before at that age and we were in the rain outside and no one opened the gate. And I told him when we are, this is why I'm at. And it was number 1 on the Billboard chart. I was like,
the
yo.
remix?
Yeah. I was like, you know that once before I was at your studio. I saw you on TV. You told us that you have a brand new studio. All new artists are welcome. And
you
we
saw
came
it on
there.
TV and you showed up.
We showed up and you didn't open the gate.
You lied to us.
We were in the rain in our school uniform, but it's all love. Junior Reid is like an elder to us, you know what I mean?
You were like the person that a lot of people also from the United States would tap to do a hot like collaboration.
Yeah.
Because it was like a Foxy Brown, you know, that was a
I've
big
always
song.
been lucky that way. Lucky that way that whenever we did collaborations with any artist from overseas, whether the rap, hip-hop world or R&B world, it always did well. Foxy is like a sister up to the day. I'm like that. I'm the type of person when I have relationships, they last long for some reason. Like,
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't be hearing no drama about you.
Never.
Yeah, you stay out the mix.
Yeah, we just do
all
business.
this time.
That's
I've never
it.
heard no.
That's it. You know what I mean? So Inga Marchand, she reached out probably 99 and she came to a concert and ever since then we have been like brothers and sisters. We had the idea of doing a record for her. We did Run Them. Run Them first for a project. I think it was Broken Silence. And then we had the idea of Tables Turn.
Yeah, that's a banger right there
and
to
when
this
we brought
day.
the idea of Tables Turn to her, she loved it and we did it. And that kind of opened a different door for me. A different door in America. Like,
So you think that's what really set off opening up the...
that set off, we had like Man and Man, me and them no grounds, man. Like, was on rotation everywhere. But to get inside the household of like hip-hop fans, I thought Foxy Brown did that for sure. Tables Turn.
And your first album, Wild the Story, that was 25 years ago.
Yeah.
Today not today, but to this year that album came out. You were only 21 years old at that time, but you had some heavy hitters on that album already. I got to ask, like, how did that happen so early for you on your first album?
I think it was just the good music that we were putting out. Like, as a new artist, probably I was the hottest thing in Jamaica at the time as a kid. You know what I mean? Just everything coming out was fire from the mass. Joyride with Wayne Wonder.
Yeah, Wayne
Knife
Wonder.
in a Gleaner, you understand? Bug, Another Level with Bounty Killer. Like, everything was hit. There wasn't one record that came out that wasn't a hit. And everything, Father God, like the Most High Almighty, just worked it out perfect that whoever we ran into, whether it's a concert or in a studio somewhere in America, they were cool to do a record and everything worked out well.
You know, even that, and that was the first ever double CD for a dancehall artist.
A dancehall artist. Yeah, a lot of people.
You had so many songs, you were like, I don't know
Because,
what to leave off of this.
Yo, we had like probably 12, 14 records that were already hits. And at that time I learned that with all these singles, you need like a home for them. And that's when I learned that, okay, you need an album to put them somewhere on. So we're like, okay, like, we already had 12, 13 records. We need CD number 2. And CD number 2, that's why it's called Wow the Story. So it's telling you the story from the beginning. And then CD number 2, it's called Another Level.
You know, it seemed like you were very smart from a young age. And I know you said that your mother didn't know you were doing music
No.
to the level that you were. And
Yeah.
rest in peace to her. I saw she recently passed.
Thank you very much.
You know, my condolences
Yeah,
and
man,
rest in
thank you.
peace. And I know she had to be so proud to see
Yeah.
everything her baby Cham accomplished.
Yes, Mother's Life is her song. Like when I look back at everything now, I know that Mother's Life was written for her.
Yes.
Yes.
And you put that, listen, perfect song. And so what I wanted to ask you, if you didn't do music, what was it that you were planning to do with your life if you had to go to school?
At first, I wanted to be a pilot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Okay.
Because to me, I've never seen or heard of anyone from where we from being a pilot. But then when I did my research, they made good money. They had good retirement plans. They had everything. So I was planning for me and my mom from day one. You know what I mean?
That's so you knew you was gonna make it no matter
I
what.
knew something. Yes,
Hustling in your
yes,
blood.
something was gonna happen. You know what I mean? And then I started playing football, which over here you call it soccer, and I was real good at it. So I was playing for Jamaica under 12, Jamaica under 14, Jamaica under 15. So that was coming on good. And then I got an injury, and then the following summer, music came.
Wow.
So it's like Father God was like, you know what? I'm not gonna let you suffer. Straight out of high school, I got my first #1 single.
Sheesh, that was
Yeah,
The Mass?
The Mass, yes.
That was-
Straight out of high school.
And so that was Dave Kelly put Wayne
Dave
Wonder.
Kelly. Wayne Wonder was on the chorus. He didn't get credit for it on the actual record, but Wayne Wonder was singing the chorus. with
How
Dave
did you
Kelly.
learn the business of music? Because
That year, 1995. You know, when you get your first hit record, you have The Mass playing, you had Gal From Your Band, you know, Akida Mauli, all these records playing. So I thought that with a big label like Madhouse Records, I'm going to get a Christmas present. It'd be like probably a nice sneakers, you know what I mean? And Dave Kelly bought me a book called All You Need to Know About the Music Business by Sam Passman. And that's what I got
you
for
ready
my
for this
Christmas.
check.
Yeah, that's what I got for my Christmas present. I wasn't feeling it, but then when I started reading it,
wait, hold on. Instead of money, you got a book?
I got a book. I got a book for my Christmas. No sneakers. Just picture a kid. Kid, everything is going good. You're hot in the streets. You're looking for like a sneakers, probably a jean suit, something, you know what I mean, that you can show. I got a book. But I learned so much from that book that even you listen to songs like Heading to the Top on my first album, where it says people speculating how they thought I hit the lottery. No, it's on the music, but I did my thing properly. Lyrics contradictory. Sweet was the victory. That same song, Hands Off My Property. This is not monopoly. Those books kind of molded and shaped how I went about the music, separate from the music business.
Man, Dave Kelly seems like an amazing mentor.
No,
I just want to say that was you fortunately hooked up with the right person.
Yeah, I'm lucky. Because I've heard a lot of my peers complain about
Oh my gosh.
publishing, royalties. I've never had none of those situations. I never did a live concert. I know artists live from their live concert. I never did a live concert until 2 years in my career.
Wow.
1997. By that time, I had
That's crazy. So
that's crazy.
people were just you remember hearing your song on the radio for the first time? Because
First time, 95.
We didn't have
We
streaming.
recorded it on we call those cassettes, high bias cassettes, so we could play it in at the time I didn't have a car. We had like cassette players where you record the radio show so you can play it back and feel good about yourself, you know what I mean?
Man, I know that was
man.
amazing. So how did your mom find out what was going on?
I had probably 3 #1 songs before my mom knew. Yeah. So no one in my household knew that I was
What a
actually...
secret to keep.
That's a secret. And the community kept it for me. You know what I mean? My mom is a Christian.
Man.
She wasn't having that, you know what I mean? She wanted us to go to school, even though she couldn't afford to send me to the university at the time. She was saving up so she could send me to university after. And I started going to the studio and it worked out. Anyway, we had 3 #1 songs. They had this coming out party for Sean Paul. And Sean Paul management reached out to me at the time. The name of the club was The Mirage. It was uptown, and they asked me if we have the #1 song, if we could come through and perform. And to me, it was an honor, because you don't know Sean, the young artist at the same time, to just coming up. but we had bigger songs. So we went there the night, performed. As soon as I got off stage, I saw my brother. I knew I was in trouble, you know what I mean? My brother just came up to me,
Is that my brother on the stage?
So he was like, you are Baby Cham? I see it in the paper all the time, and I didn't know. And that's when my mom found out, and she said she had to have a talk with Dave. Dave came over to the house probably 2 days after. She met Dave and realized that Dave Kelly was a good person, realized that I'm in good company. And I mean, because you have so many things that they talk about the industry that when these kids go to the studio, all they give them is weed and drugs and girls and all of these things. And she realized that, no, these people are about music. They have fun. They're going to make sure that they take care of your son. And from there, she just gave me all her support.
Man, if they would have been social media, you would have never got away with that for more than a day.
Never.
Yeah.
I didn't have no one knew what I looked like until probably 98.
That's hilarious.
And we had hit songs from 95.
That
and no
is
one
wild.
knew
So
what
no
I looked
videos
like.
or
No
anything?
videos. No, 97, my bad. So
Okay.
my first concert was 97. So you had all these hit records. You weren't doing no pass-throughs, no shows. So the industry started saying I was a studio artist.
He can't perform live.
He can't perform live. He can't replicate the songs live on stage.
Yeah, because you had that deep, had this voice always. That was
So that picture, that concert, you had probably 5,000 fans and probably all the record industry, music industry there just to see if it's real. But I've been a performer from day one. Like
Right.
I was begging to perform. It was Dave Kelly's plan and Maddo's plan. They wanted it like that. They wanted you to have at least a nice 25 to 30 minute catalog in terms of set before you do a concert. And it worked out well.
Were you impatient?
I was impatient.
Yeah.
I was impatient, but I wasn't needing. Probably if I was needing for anything, because the records were coming out so big, I was doing a lot of dub plates. In Jamaica, dub plates is like when we do a special with Angela's name in it. You know what I mean? This a Angela story, Angela Yee story, like that.
Don't think we're not going to use that either.
It's only right.
That's why I was super quiet. I was like, not a noise in here.
So all the sound systems used to, every song I release, I would do like a lot of dub plates, so I wasn't needing for no money. I was financially okay at the time. You know?
It's crazy how even now, like things just don't work like that anymore. At all. Like people are not doing that. Artists aren't doing that. They're not putting that type of groundwork
I
in.
I think no one is trusting that type of process anymore either. You know
We could
what I
do
mean?
it on AI anyway. Like, do this little dub play Baby Cham. Listen, and so I want to talk about just how when it was I think it was the 20th anniversary of Wow the Story, you started doing these like going track by track and breaking down what it was like, the making of it. That was amazing to hear some of those stories.
Yeah,
like,
because those are like iconic stories. Like for instance, Joyride.
Oh man, I could picture
Joyride is one of my favorite records. And Joyride at the time, I think Joyride compilation was probably first compilation album out of Jamaica that sold gold, like real gold, like 500,000. So Joyride was done. Dave Kelly and Wayne Wonder came to pick me up to go to a beach party, a famous beach party in Jamaica.
That was in Portland?
It's in Portland.
Yes.
Yeah, it was called, I forgot the name of but the beach was the Frenchman Cove. You know what I mean? And when they came to pick me up, I was in like plaid shirt, speng up. When we call speng in Jamaica, we button the first button on the shirt and fly the rest. And I had on white marina, mesh marina, brown jeans pants, brown and black ballet.
Not beach attire.
No, not beach attire. So ballet at the time was the shoes that was the hottest road boy shoes in Jamaica, either ballet or travel fox. You know what I mean? Yeah. So they came to pick me up and they had on slides like sandals and shorts and just regular tank
Like where are
tops.
you going?
But to where we are from, where I'm from, when it like that is yard dress.
Right.
You don't dress like that when you're going out. You know what I mean? And they were like, no, this is a beach party. I'm like, nope, I'm not going to dress like that. This is how we dress. When I went on a beach party, I was stuck out. Everyone started looking at me like crazy. I had to take off the plaid shirt, tie the plaid shirt around my waist, took off the ballet, roll up my jeans pants, and just kept it casual and beach-like. You know what I mean?
But you said that was the first song that you did not actually write.
Not all was written. Dave Kelly had the beat playing. We were driving all the way from Kingston to Portland. Wayne Wonder was freestyling, taking a ride. And I'm just freestyling, cruising around with a Jeep full of honeys. Each one want to introduce me to their mommies. And if you really listen it, introduce me is not a word. It's more introduce me.
Introduce me, yeah.
Yeah, but because you're freestyling, you're trying to fill the gap, you know what I mean? Introduce me to their mommies. Someone me pack up and come over with my luggage. Boom. The minute Dave Kelly released it, it went straight to #1. So
Listen, that song today still.
that's one of my biggest songs in my catalog, even today. When we perform live, that's probably, you have a segment in my set that we go to 90s music. When Joyride drops,
Crazy.
everything goes crazy.
And I feel that and Ghetto Story, right? I would say Ghetto Story was, which one would you say is bigger?
Get a story.
Yeah.
By
That's
far.
because Alicia Keys, Akon, and
Yeah.
you know, I'm going to ask you this question, but Ghetto Story, Alicia Keys got on that.
Yeah.
Akon did his. I want to ask you even how that happened, but before I do that, if you were going to do a Ghetto Story 2025, who would you like to hear on that telling their story?
Ooh. Okay. Me personally,
Yeah, who would you personally be like? I would love to hear this.
I would love to hear Eminem's story.
Ooh.
On a Ghetto Story, because I knew his background. I have an idea of his background and how he came up. You know what I mean? I would love to hear Nas. You know what I mean? Coming through Queens
Because look at where he is now.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And as far as new school, I'd probably put Vibes Cartel on it.
Wow.
Just to hear his story coming through.
Ooh,
you know what I mean?
And he came all the way through.
Yeah, man, hurricane. He's like an hurricane. You know what I mean? Like, I'd have to think about more, but those are the people that, so when you think about lyrically where they're at and where they're coming from.
And the story they have to
and
tell.
the story
because
they have to tell.
the real great thing about Ghetto Story is we get to see it after you came through it to see where you are. But here's where I started.
Yes.
You know, and I feel like it's so descriptive. That's what people love about it. Even here, I never heard Alicia Keys do nothing like that. You know, before
No,
that, I
never.
felt like that was very unique
Never.
for her as well.
And I think that's why it's so unique, even now, in her live show. Like, when we go with Alicia on the road and do it in her live show, it feels so fresh.
She was eating white rice and honey. I was like, first of all, that sounds good.
Yeah, you know what I mean? That's a big vibe, and that's why it's so different. There's nothing in her set like that ever, and she has never done nothing like that after.
Right.
And that's good for Ghetto Story.
Yeah, that
I
is.
think
And
so.
Akon, too.
Akon, I'm
I
a
would
brother.
say even with
like,
Akon,
we recorded Akon on Vitamin S Beat. So no one knew Akon at the time.
Okay.
So we had a song on Vitamin S Beat from like 2003 with Akon. That's before Locked Up, all of that. I think it's called Gunshot. So that was my brother from before anything started popping off. You know what I mean? For him. And as soon as Ghetto Story hit, I reached out to him and said, yo, we need you on it. And he was like, nothing. Flew in, boom, knocked it out. And then probably 2 weeks after we got Alicia, I'm like, oh, this is perfect.
I mean, that was, something so unexpected.
Special.
How did that even happen? Did y'all reach out to her, or did she say, like, how did something like that behind the scenes?
We had someone reach out to her, and then she reached out back and said it would be cool because she has a story to tell. I didn't even know that she's from Hell's Kitchen.
Right.
I thought that she was a nice suburban, nice, you know what I
Little did
mean?
you know.
Yeah, little did you know that. So when she told her story, I think the world kind of realized that, okay, she's coming from somewhere deeper than we thought, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and people wouldn't know your story either because, respectfully, you're the ladies' man.
Yeah.
And even when you were coming up in this, it was like, Baby Sham, Baby
Yeah,
Sham.
because we kept
The
it clean
women
cut.
always liked you.
Clean cut. That's
so
it.
you do seem like you could have came up in that same way too. Like
Yeah,
always.
and we have to give credit to my mom. My mom, even though grew up in the garrison of Jamaica, without my dad around, my mom kind of guided us, and you know what I mean? We had to get up 5 a.m. every morning before school, and each one of us had to read a Bible scripture every morning.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Every morning. So that even made me more comfortable, like getting up in front of class and reading something from a literature book, you know what I mean? And I got into literature that way, and that's how the writing came about.
And then look, and then putting out a song like Vitamin S,
Yeah.
things like that.
The good vitamin.
We all need that.
And the craziest thing about Vitamin S, me and Dave Kelly kind of warred over Vitamin S.
Really?
He wanted me to give Beanie Man Vitamin S.
Oh, okay.
So he wanted me to do Dude. Because
Okay.
Foxy the world didn't know this, but Foxy had done a demo for Dude. So it was Foxy Brown that was on I Wanna Dude with the Wickedest. She was singing the hook. And we were going to use it as Table's Turn follow-up.
Okay.
And I did the verses as a demo. And then I found Vitamin S. Beenie Man came to record now. And Dave was like, yo, we should give Beenie Man Vitamin S. And I'm like, no. When I found Vitamin S, I knew it was special. No, I don't care what Dude's soul or what Dude is going to do.
Yeah, they both.
I'm
yeah,
like,
y'all
you know
both
what?
Came up. Y'all both came
Give
up.
me the Dude. We're going to give him Dude. And I'm going to do Vitamin S. I'm not giving away this one. You know what I mean? And Inga was vexed with me for Inga was not talking to me for 3-4 months after that, because when Dude came out and she heard it.
That was a huge hit.
Yeah, she heard it and knew that it wasn't her vocal on it anymore.
Right.
And Inga was upset for 4 months.
But you wasn't on it either, so that ain't
no,
yeah, so.
You know what I mean? And it worked out well. I needed Vitamin S.
Yeah.
Dude is Dude. You will never ever forget Vitamin S. Just if you use Vitamin S now, you can use it in a conversation around kids and they wouldn't even understand what you're talking about.
I went to the doctor, I'm low on vitamin S.
I'm low on my vitamin S. I need some vitamin S. Yes. She miserable, session stress. Somebody give her some. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Good.
SEX. And then, listen, the other thing that you did, and this was more recently, is you did a collaboration project with Bounty Killer.
Yes.
That was amazing, too.
Amazing.
I want to say, even just watching you, it felt like that was energizing for you as well.
It's one of the most beautiful things to me. Because Killer is like a brother. Bounty Killer is like a brother.
And y'all sound good together.
Always. First song we did was Another Level. So we knew the chemistry was there. And we always perform in concert together. The chemistry is naturally there. Out of the pandemic, myself and Dave Kelly decided that instead of just dropping a single or a single project, let's do something with Rodney. And when we say Rodney Price, a.k.a. Bounty Killer. And we flew him to the Bahamas at the time because he didn't have visa to come into the States. And we had a place right on the waterfront of the Bahamas. We were there for 1 month. It's the first time Killer ever leave Jamaica for 1 month. 1 month we're there cooking every day, just vibing, making music, and that's how we worked on the project. When his first visa came through was the England visa. We all were praying that it would come through so we could go to England to do the promo. It came through on time, just as the EP dropped, Time Bomb. We went to England. Everyone was so happy to see Killer. We went back to England 10 months after, sold out the Wembley Arena, almost 18,000 people. And ever since then, all the gates have been flying for Killer, so it's a good look.
Yeah, no, it is not a game right now, I think, for dancehall and reggae. Just seeing how it's been proven how these shows can sell out. You know, these brands need to get behind these artists the way that they have been. And you've been consistent, I feel like, throughout. Just, you know, with this music and then now with this project that you have. And you gave us all what we needed. You know, even on a song like Miss Seductress, you know, I still be liking.
Yeah, because you have to make, to me, I wanted this project to have something for
a little
everyone.
Hall of Fame. You know.
Hall of Fame, more lovey-dovey, showing the nicer side, you know what I mean? Miss Seductress is more club vibe, you know what I mean? So I think this project have something for everyone, and that's how I wanted it, and it worked out perfect for me. And even when we decided to release it, we decided, okay, we're going to come July. Damian Marley and Stephen Marley was going on tour, Traffic Jam tour. Normally before they go on tour, they would release a single that they would use as the pivot song for the tour. When we did Hustling in My Blood, they called me up and said, you know what, we're not even going to drop no single. This is our single for the tour. So whatever you're doing, you have to be on tour with us. And to be on tour with them, promoting the same night, every single night, we're just promoting that song, performing it, all three of us together. I've done a big record with myself, Bounty Killer, and Dexter Dapp, Slow Motion.
Yep, that's a great song.
2 years ago, that we have never performed that song 5 times together. Because you know it goes, artists, everyone have their own thing to fulfill, they have their own obligations, everything, you know what I mean? And to be on the road, myself and Damian and Steven, every night, 7,000, 9,000, 10,000, 15,000 people. I think it's worked perfect for my project this time around.
Listen, you couldn't have asked for a better rollout.
I couldn't. Like, it's one of them things that you have to just kneel and say, thank you, Lord. You know what I mean? Because you know that it's a higher divine purpose than what you are really, really about. It's not just about you. It's someone else guiding this.
Yeah, the blessings are continuing to come in.
Yes.
And one thing I will say is, even in the midst of like, I feel like in, dancehall, there was always all these different like divisions and this person, but it felt like you managed to avoid all of those problems and be cool with everybody.
That's the main thing. The main thing is like, I think I'm like a bridge. That's how I look at myself. And I started looking at that since I started reading more about like being a collaborator. You have some people that can't collaborate. You have some people that are real collaborators.
Mm-hmm.
And recently I heard Pharrell say it in an interview. He said that a collaborator knows when to step back. You know what I mean? So even when I'm on the road, I was doing concerts with Killer. I allow Killer to take it. You take the front row. Do what you do. And I don't feel any less either, because I know what I bring to the table. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then when it's my time to do my own concerts, it's a different beast, just the same. But you have to just learn how to share the spotlight and you know what I mean,
when
and
he
grow the
wins,
genre.
you win, and vice versa. You know?
Man, that's it for me.
Yeah,
that's it for me.
It's interesting seeing these conversations around Vibes Cartel and how much he's getting paid too.
Yeah,
and that all happened because of the drama with the promoter and all of that. And so it also made other people feel like, well, I should be getting. And I saw that like all over social media too.
What have you been doing? Cartel been locked up for 13 years. So you can't compare them. You know what I mean? And whoever out there is trying to say they should be getting the same amount.
Right.
Then you work and get the same amount. He's been locked up for 13 years. No one saw him performing. Not even a clip. Not even a photo. You barely saw any photo of him in prison. So now when he comes out, you have a whole catalog that people has never ever seen him perform.
Mm-hmm.
So he deserves every penny that he's getting.
Yeah, and I think the positive thing is to see everybody squashing their beef to help the whole culture.
The whole genre.
Mm-hmm.
When he wins, when I win, when Sean Paul win, when Bounty Killer win, when Beanie win, when Spice win, when Chensia win, when Jada win, all of us win. You know what I mean? All of us win. The whole genre wins. That's it.
Well, I feel like that is a perfect way for us to say thank you so much, Baby Cham. And, the Sherlock project is out right now, so make sure y'all, I guess people buy it. I know we stream it. Do we
stream
buy it?
it?
Buy it. Yes,
Yo,
buy it and stream it.
Stream it and buy it at the same time.
And also, you do have some dates coming up, so I want to make sure we all know that, because you are going to be in Brooklyn.
Brooklyn. I hope you can make the show.
Coney Island, Newark, New
Coney
Jersey.
Island with the legend Barry Salmon and the legend Marcia Griffiths. For me, that's an honor. So it's New Jersey. It's NJ Pack, which is what? The Performance Arts Center in New Jersey.
In Newark.
And in Newark. And the Coney Island in Brooklyn.
And then you're also going to Toronto. You're going to Riviera Beach, Florida. And the Welcome to Denmark cruise.
Yep. Plus,
that's going to be a wild time, y'all.
Fire. The Toronto concert is special. It's Bounty Killer's first time performing in Toronto in like probably 20 years. First time.
That's
and it's the first time
crazy.
Anywhere in North America is seeing myself, Bounty Killer, and Dexter Daps performing slow motion together.
That is a time.
Because all three of us are on the show.
We need to be in Toronto, but unfortunately that's Angela Yee Day, so I'll be here. But in Brooklyn,
we'll send you a video.
Please, I'm gonna be looking online. So and whatever it is, I'll repost it. But again, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Before we even started, I showed you this throwback picture of us.
We should.
And
let them see that where I come from day one. It's not just now.
Super clean. Right. Ladies man. Baby
It's
Cham.
Angela Yee. And it's Baby Cham. That's me. Can you hear me? Good.